Hey, Andy, welcome to the Keto Camp podcast, brother.
How's it going? Good to finally sit down with you. What's going
We
on?
finally made it happen after
Finally.
trying to plan this out. So thanks for being here today. We have a lot to cover. So I've got a whole set of bullet points here and notes. So let's start with the beginning, right? There's so much that went on in your backstory that led you to starting this company, Alitura, getting into the health and wellness space. There was a lot of moving parts. So I don't know where you want to start, but I'm gonna put the ball in your court. And where do you want to start with that backstory?
Wow. So to begin with everything, I've been an athlete my entire life, really into nutrition, supplementation. Ever since I can remember, I wanted to gain weight. So that kind of putting weight on consisted of fat, calories, protein. So I began reading labels at an early age. I went to UC Berkeley on a baseball scholarship, and from that point, I didn't care about dorm food, didn't care about any ingredients and products, and I paid for it. I had really, really embarrassingly bad back acne. I was putting on weight. I gained 23 pounds.
So you were dirty bulking essentially?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just dorm food, cheeseburgers, pizza, you name it. But I just was bloated, but the back acne part of that was really crippling. And teammates can be the worst too, so I just really started to put together, a puzzle of how to, cleanse my system. Ironically, I met with a Chinese herbalist on Shattuck Avenue, and I found remember the brand Flora? And Flora. Anyway, so I got my silica horsetail extract. This guy gave me this whole spiel on how it would build my blood and cleanse my blood. And so I was 18 years old, Shattuck Avenue in Berkeley. It's some, smaller hippie shop, learning about Chinese herbs and the benefits of that. And so I got that first supplement ever. Yeah. Aqueous silica horsetail extract from Flora. So 18 years old. So that right there, I mean, it's not like I felt benefits from that, but I started to pay attention to what I was ingesting, my products. I would have these like little cystic acne, which can be the worst because they never come to an infection point where you can remove it. They stick around with me at least for, a couple weeks. And it's just one of those things. It's like a mosquito bite. And it was just bugging me because I get a few of those every day popping up, growing into your body, supplementation, all that, and eating the wrong way. My body, my skin is very reactive too. So I had such a hard time. I went from, that's when like the ingredient aspect of it really clicked for me though. I went from Neutrogena to Dove bar soap. Now Dove bar soap had 5 ingredients. A couple of them were coconut derived surfactants. And seriously, even back then, 18, 19 years old, that kind of like just clicked for me, like the natural element of that, seeing that coconut derived surfactant on the label. I mean, these little signs were pointing me in the direction where I currently am. But so I just have been interested in that. My skin cleared up. I was using Dove bar, Dove soap head to toe, and then something different for my hair. And ultimately down the road, just year after year, it just became, an interest of mine to the point where a lot of my, I was wearing sunscreen or whatever, little night cream before bed. I remember Dove had like a CoQ10 extract rose hip night cream. My teammates, just wearing me out, in my early 20s wearing it. But it's been staring right at me. But I'm interested in this stuff. You look good, you feel good. You're going to create a better energy, that ripple effect personally and professionally, wherever you go. I just know when I leave the house, like I'm good. You know what I mean? It's just part of my prep routine, but teach their own. But so I like that. And then down the road, March 20, 2011, I was crossing the street in Los Angeles, California, and I got hit by a westbound heading Land Rover. Lost consciousness, into the eastbound lane and run over by a Toyota Tundra. Both cars pulled over. Clothes cut off me in the middle of the street. I was coming in and out of consciousness at that point, and I got rushed off to Cedars-Sinai Hospital, where I woke up in an ICU bed with a compound fracture of my jaw from like the middle of my chin to just beneath my left ear. 7 broken ribs, a collapsed lung, but the mandible fracture was really bad. The resident maxillofacial surgeon, Dr. Rosenberg, couldn't do the surgery, so we had to find a private guy that he ended up assisting with. I got a titanium plate up top, one on bottom, that I got removed 9 months later because, being health freaks, we don't want the metal
Yeah.
in
You
that.
don't want metal in your body.
Yeah. And that recovery was just as bad. I mean, getting those out. I mean, so that's another story. But during that process of, coming home, jaw wired shut, teeth gone, a little down and out, but not really down and out because I have my family with me in my little 660 square foot apartment in North Hollywood. And that's very rare that we're all together, because my sisters have their families for holidays. And it's just, so there was a lot of love, in that initial stage where everybody is just really grateful that I'm alive. People don't survive accidents like that. I just really had that mentality and mindset of just, I had some weird fight or flight thing where I was just like, kind of like, you know what I mean? Kind of like giddy or whatever, but just excited, but just like coming down from that traumatic incident. There was something there where it was just all gratitude and like, just, on edge. But I took that energy and started to, when they left, and I put together a plan just to get circulation going. I mean, my ankles were intact, knees were fine, shoulders, so I could do little push-ups and stuff like that. I was a health freak going into, when I got hit. So I was into it, but it definitely exponentially increased after the accident because I was just in a fog.
And how old were you at this time?
I was 29, about to be 30. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And just, a zombie from the antibiotics, CT scan, monthly x-rays to see how the bone's growing back, and just things that I didn't want in my system that I knew were clouding my vitality. And so I drove around LA with my jaw wired shut, no teeth, went into Dragon Herbs, met with the people over there at the tonic bar and just kind of took their brain and tried to ask them how I could, build my blood back and get, just feeling back like myself. I met with Truth Calkins, Sage Dammers, Crosby Ware, George Lamoureux from Jing Herbs. I mean, I wanted to find a way to get back. And that dramatically increased my passion of Ayurveda medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, just removing impurities, circulation from head to toe, reducing inflammation, getting the scar tissue out with, the whole recovery process. I just became obsessed with, all aspects of it, getting sunlight, going on walks, just everything, getting my nutrition from a little straw with a smoothie that I would make in the morning that was pretty intense. But it just, looking back, just extremely grateful to be alive,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you got hit by 2 SUVs, Andy. That's what was happening. Like, were you at fault? Like, were you not paying attention? Like, how did that happen to begin with?
I was looking down at my phone to just capture a lift. It was just one of these like little streets on Melrose where a lot of pedestrians cross, but it's not a crosswalk. And I just kind of thought it's a bad habit that I thought that cars would adjust to me. And I just looked down and then boom. And next thing I know, I'm like coming in and out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, it takes quite the human being to extract the gratitude from that, because your jaw was wired shut. You were pretty banged up and you were looking for what's the blessing here. Or have you always been like that? Or was that something that started when you had the accident?
I've had perspective since I can remember, I look at the big picture of things for the most part, I'm not perfect. But yeah, just, I've had really, really deep perspective and a lens of gratitude since I can remember. 10, 11 years old, praying for health and happiness for my family and friends and loved ones. I mean, just at that age, I don't really know too many, but I have so much love for my friends and family, number one. And I just have such a deep, I had a deep concern for their well-being, which is, beautiful, but I just, back then I just was very, very spiritual, and I've always had that element to me.
Yeah, it's a beautiful quality, because a lot of people have the victim mindset, right? Something happens to them and their thought process is, why is this happening to me? Why am I being punished? Where you went through some really tough times and you said, Why is this happening for me? What is the lesson to be learned here? So there's a completely different perspective. And I would choose the latter. I would choose your perspective because that there's growth and opportunity there. And that led you down a path, and you're going to continue the story, but that led you down a path to starting your company, no? I want to take a quick break from the video you're watching to share something with you that has made a big difference with my health and the thousands and thousands of students that I teach all across the world. Now, this is a unique device that has been shown to help with skin health, sore muscles, wrinkles, psoriasis, eczema, scoliosis, migraines, sleep issues, arthritis, acne, scar tissue, wound healing, relaxation, and also boost testosterone levels. What am I talking about? What is this miracle drug? Well, it's not a miracle drug. It's red light therapy. As you can see here, this is called photobiomodulation. And I use this red light therapy device every single day. Not only do I use it, my fiance uses it. Our dogs and cats love it. And the device I have here is from Bon Charge. Bon Charge has a different range of big panels, small panels, from affordable to ones that are a little bit more money depending on how much you want. And I love this product. I feel so good. And it doesn't take a lot of time to get all these benefits. I simply take off my glasses, which is Bon Charge glasses, by the way, turn it on, and I have it running for 20 minutes once a day. And turn it on, and as you can see, I just leave it there on my desk as I work. 10, 20 minutes per day will suffice, and it makes a big difference. You're going to notice a big improvement with your skin health and all the things we mentioned earlier in just a matter of weeks. So if you want to get your hands on this Bon Charge red light device or get their big panels, they also have panels that you could take on the go that are more affordable, then head over to boncharge.com/ketocamp and use the coupon code KETOCAMP to get 15% off your red light device, or as a matter of fact, your entire order. Any product, you could get 15% off with that nice coupon code KETOCAMP. So whether it's these Bon Charge blue light blocking glasses, their sauna blanket, or any of their awesome products, use that coupon code KETOCAMP at checkout. We'll drop a link down below. Go check them out. They are awesome. And let's get back to today's video.
Yeah. I mean, at that time, it was just pure gratitude, step by step, getting back to who I was. I started to get back really quickly, though, because I started to feel better about what I saw in the mirror. You know, I had an existing clay mask that I, kind of hid from everyone that I would do every Sunday night. I think at that time I just had a few clays, kelp powder, vitamin C. And then I started to incorporate experimentation with certain ingredients that I would add into my morning tonic based on the particle size and how it would affect the emulsion of the existing clay mask that I had. A lot of things didn't work, but the three things that did were American ginseng, ground freshwater pearl powder, and first flower milking grass-fed colostrum. They're all like silk, and they actually I didn't know this at the time, and I didn't have a chemistry background, obviously, but the elements of the pearl and colostrum kind of expand a little bit when they dry, so that the four clays aren't quite as, they don't have the drying aspect of it, and it's not so harsh on the skin. It really leaves your skin softer, and I kind of got lucky with that one. But that's a lot of people get lucky through experimentation. I just used itself as my biggest science experiment. I couldn't afford the creams and serums that the doctors were recommending that I use for my to counteract my abrasions and scarring. And also, I like the ingredient decks. I mean, with this little speck of a decimal point of this active ingredient that's supposed to counteract my scarring. I mean, I just always have felt that, ingredients and things from Mother Nature would serve my body best. I've always been that way with medication, pills. And I found that out the hard way. Long story. That's another thing, because I didn't really want to take the painkillers.
Really? So you didn't do the painkillers when you were after the accident?
It wore off, and I didn't take the hydrocodone. This one, I called my doctor at 12:30, and luckily he picked up. He's like, "I gave you those pills for a reason. You got, I thought I was about to call the 911. I thought I was gonna die. Seriously, my head was pulsating. I mean,
oh my gosh.
And I thought turmeric and bromelain would help out. No chance, dude. But yeah, that whole process of just step by step, I knew it was going to take a long time, and I knew modeling and acting was probably, everybody's telling me I'd never get back in that industry. I was just grateful to be alive. But step by step, I started to get back to myself. You know what I mean? staying extremely diligent and disciplined with my routine and recovery. The clay mask really helped. And then the paste and emulsion that I was making out of a cast iron pan, which is now our night cream. I mean, I just started to see results. And when you're so disappointed with what you see in the mirror and then you're incrementally starting to get back to yourself, it's a beautiful feeling, man. And
Yeah.
I started to slowly get it back. And just having that gratitude of like, wow, dude, I severed a nerve right here that controls all like facial function, like when you smile. And they attached it back again. And it was just, I'd smile and like this side would show up and this
Wow.
was fuzzy. Over time, it started to come back. It's still a little numb around this area. My bite was all off. I probably spent over $100,000 just dealing with bonding in tooth chips and things like that because my bite would come down at different places often. I would have to cheat my bite, man, and smile and not having my front 3 teeth for 8 months, or no, excuse me. I got those bonded in 3 months after when I got the wires out, but still, it was just very humbling. But I mean, it's like you said, it's all for me. I mean, it got me. But I don't want to say it's like for me, like, oh, see, you do that. It's just like I'm surrendering to the process of what the universe has planned for me. And I've really been that way, but I didn't know all about it. You know what I mean? Like the secret, putting things in, speaking it into existence. And I've been doing that since, 14, 15 years old. Visualization has been huge for me as an athlete. Like I would just, pretend I was a left-hand pitcher, Randy Johnson, just going through games in my mind. And then Greg Maddux as a right-hander, just going through whole games as a little kid. Just that obsession. It led to something. It's there. But you know what I mean? Like it's just just solving of a problem or finding, a way to fix things or just honing a skill. It takes repetition, and repetition can lead to that mastery. But and that's one of those things where I don't. I remember mixing up the clay mask and going, man, what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to be? And it was staring right at me. That's why, like, I'm so, like, I really want to emphasize to everyone out there, pay attention to the things you're excited about. You know what I mean? That you love, that you just do, like habits that you love, though, that you can't go without. I mean, who knows what that can lead to? Passion and genuine excitement. Dude, it's contagious. You know what I mean? Like when other people talk about it and farmers markets, whatever, you hear someone's story about how they grew certain things and, ask them certain questions, and then they have good answers of how they, do something without, herbicides or pesticides. They use cayenne pepper. I'm like, oh, this guy gets it. He's a little weirdo like me. And I get a kick out of people with passion and ultimately for a purpose and a genuine why behind it. And so that's really what led me to where I am. Sure, it was painful. Man, I'd go through it all over again, just to feel this way. I mean, it's all part, of our journey. The valleys are important as well. I mean,
They are.
Peaks, the appreciation of the peaks. So
Yeah.
sweeter. When you're going through it, though, that's where you're battle tested. And so,
Yeah, for sure. 100%. You're so right. If it wasn't for the valleys, we probably wouldn't appreciate the peaks as much. We'd take it for granted. So everything has a polar opposite. It's a universal law. It's the law of polarity: up, down, left, right, black, white. Whatever is negative there's also a positive to it. It's just that so many people get so fixated on all the negative, they're missing all the positive, right? So you gave the example of like you getting into the accident, and now you're experimenting with different clay masks and you're figuring out how to fix your appearance and focus on health. And then you're thinking, I wonder what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And it's like right there in front of you, right? It's like that your pain turned into your promise and your purpose. And it's like light bulb moment. And this is what you do now. Like you're known as the skincare guy, Alitura, etc. But it's like it came from all the pain, but you had the awareness. And I think a lot of people lack the awareness that this is what you should be doing. Like this is your passion. This is what you have been put on planet Earth for. It's not to work that corporate job. It's not to do whatever your society or family members or friends say you should do. It's what lights you up. So the advice you gave, Andy, of like, pay attention to what you're so excited about,
Yeah,
what you study, that time flies by, that you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that's 3 hours already. That's the zone of genius, and that's where your life is going to be revolving around.
I completely agree. I completely
So
agree.
you talked a lot about, you said the word obsession a few times, and if I asked 100 people on the streets about that word obsession, I would estimate that 90% of them, 90 out of 100 would say it's a bad thing. I don't see obsession as a bad thing. I see it as a wonderful, beautiful gift. Right? I always say your obsessions become your possessions as long as it's directed towards the right thing.
Right.
So before we get into Alitura and your products and all the cool things you're doing, and I want to ask you, I have a lot of questions for that, but I want to talk about the last 12 months or so. I've seen a little bit of your journey from the outside in, but I know you've had quite the last 12 months. So if you don't mind sharing a little bit about those valleys and how you got out of those valleys in relation to addiction and that word obsession.
Yeah. It's important to touch on this specifically because at number one, I want to be accountable. And also I could help somebody else in a situation who may be familiar with what I went through. It's just one of those things. For years, a lot of people mentioned that I would get burnout doing too much, but I love what I do. It's just like when I wake up, I'm on. It's Alitura, and internet doesn't sleep. There's a lot of work to do. So towards last year, or the beginning of last year, I was the only employee on Alitura. I was working with an agency. It was a lot of work running a multi-million-dollar business by myself, and then onboarding several teams throughout the process. That one team didn't work out. Another team did. I'm telling you, that's a lot
Wow.
of work to onboard time and time again. And then also, staying up until, really, you're not going to, I was working 18-hour days, getting very little sleep, relying on Adderall, getting very irritable with my, the people that I was, my loved ones, my friends, the people I was working with. And really I would balance it out with alcohol as well, but it wasn't balancing it out at all. That is one of the worst recipes. And looking back, man, it's not who I am now, but I'm definitely aware and had to get had to go through that. Got into, a very dicey situations overseas, and just, the collective opinion on Americans isn't that, that wasn't that good in certain areas like Egypt. And I took a lot of offense to that with people who didn't know me. And this actually didn't have anything to do with the substance. I was just really just disappointed with people, who were taking advantage of me. There was a lot of betrayal, but that's something I have to deal with differently and will next time. But I'm glad I went through it and had to learn that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just, and then towards the end, it turned into chaos, complete chaos. But I was also working, with that addiction, I also, I have discipline as well. And obviously it's not like I was flying off the handles, but it was there and it was affecting me. And I went and got treatment, and 95 days sober from alcohol right now. But I really want to, I can't even.
Congratulations, man. I'm so happy for you, bro. That's amazing. 95 days. That's incredible, dude. Congrats.
Thank you. And it keeps getting easier and better. And I realize this is just me for the rest of my life. And it's also, it's congruent now with my messaging of radiating health, I feel awful that I put my friends and loved ones through that. Cause I was just howling at the moon, man. I was frustrated. I was worn out, felt disrespected. And then boom, moving to Sedona and just really sitting with myself, you know what I mean? And just finding out a lot about myself, by myself, sitting literally right there. and just, but not touching. It was I had a physical little dependency that I was a tough part, but man, day after day, then finally getting back in the gym, and then the spirituality aspect of it. I cannot begin to tell you how important something outside of me is affecting me right now, currently.
Mhm.
And I've always been spiritual. Something is different out here in Sedona. The native element, I don't know what it is. The red rocks speak to me, man. And I'm right where I'm supposed to be. I came out here for a 3-day vacation just to clear my mind from Vegas. Climbed Bell Rock Saturday night. I'm messing around on Zillow. Found this place. I've never seen a home before. I was like, all right, so I get to just see. Walked in. First thing I said, no, I'll take it. You know what I mean? Just like that,
Wow.
in like 10 seconds, and then put an offer saw it Sunday, put an offer Monday, accepted Tuesday, just like that, 4 days. You know what I mean? I'm right where I'm putting in, like, I don't even know what it took to buy a house, all the complications. It's amazing how I literally was picked up and put right where I'm supposed to be. I had no intention of moving here. So I just want to be, number one, like I said, accountable of, and just, who knows if there's someone out there, man, that if it can help just one person, that being relatable. Like, I went through it last year. I want to, and I just, that valley was the lowest low of my life, including the accident, because
Mm-hmm.
I was doing it to myself. And I just really, it's, I feel bad, but it's important to get that, just so you have that reminder to never go forward in that way, ever again. And it's led me to a headspace that it's the same thing with the accident. I would do it all again just to get this clarity, but I wouldn't want to do that to my friends and loved ones. But you know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thank you for being transparent and sharing that, because you're right. It's going to help many people who are listening or watching who have, maybe they have a substance abuse issue right now. Maybe they have addictions to bad behaviors, and it could be drugs, it could be sugar, it could be food, it could be whatever their vice is. And it reminds me of a quote from Robert Heinlein. And here's the quote: "In the absence of clearly defined goals, we become strangely loyal to performing daily trivia until ultimately we become enslaved by it."
Wow.
Daily trivia for a lot of people are substance abuse, it's alcohol, it's drugs. For me, it was video games and sugar, and there was drugs involved. But I was telling you offline, I had a lot of addictive issues growing up in my late teens, early 20s, because I didn't have any goals. I didn't have any clearly defined goals, so I was filling that void with these addictive properties. But I'm like you in the sense that when I become obsessed with something, I become the best at it. So back then, when I was 22 years old and obese, I was obsessed with video games, and I was one of the top video game players in the world. I was going to tournaments and crushing it. Like, I would put so much dedication into that, right?
Wow.
But then I got clear on my goals, so I transferred all of that bandwidth and energy and the obsessive component of video games and food addiction, and I transferred it to studying health and nutrition and educating. And now I'm unstoppable because I see it as a superpower. Like, as long as I'm harnessing that addictive behavior into something that's positive for me and humanity, it's a superpower. And I kind of shared that with you offline, and you agreed, but I wanted to share it again and get your thoughts again. Hey, I want to take a minute to share something with you as we take a break from the video you're watching. One of the most common things I see to why people don't have enough energy levels, they have trouble building lean muscle mass, they have brain fog, fatigue, and they don't feel good is because of a deficiency in a hormone called testosterone. Now, testosterone is a very important hormone to have in a healthy amount for both men and for women. So how do you reclaim your vitality? How do you reclaim this very important fat burning and muscle building hormone? Well, you can do it with a powerful supplement called Upgraded Tea. It has been my go-to for naturally elevating testosterone levels. Upgraded Tea is from Upgraded Formulas, and it contains the highest quality of ingredients that have been proven scientifically to increase testosterone production. Now, as I mentioned, if you're a woman watching this, this is very important for you just as a man watching this right now. Upgraded tea is a natural and safe way to boost testosterone levels. When you boost testosterone levels, it's going to increase your sex drive, vitality. It could help replace fatigue with all-day energy. It'll help you lose that stubborn belly fat. Testosterone is required for fat burning, so it'll help you with the last 5 to 10 pounds that you're looking to lose. It helps you be in a better mood, helps with your memory and focus. So here's the 3-step approach. Step 1, take 2 capsules of upgraded tea with water every morning. It does not break your fast. You could have it with food or without food. Step number 2, notice your energy levels and dominate your day with more confidence and more vitality. Step number 3, wake up the next day having better sleep and just keep doing what you're doing. As simple as that. So if you want to get your hands on upgraded formulas, upgraded tea, and any of their awesome products like their upgraded magnesium and their hair mineral analysis testing kit, head over to upgradedformulas.com. And if you use the coupon code ketosis at checkout, they're going to give you 15% off your entire order. That is upgradedformulas.com. Ketosis at checkout. We're going to drop that link down below. And let's get back to today's video.
Oh, I would have to completely agree. And as I mentioned to you, before, it's just, that's the first time I've heard it. And obviously I think to myself, when we're going through things, it's like, man, who am I? What's this? Like, everybody thinks like, I work a lot, and I definitely am obsessed with Alitura, but bringing that back and just letting go to let grow. Sure. I understand that. It's very hard, but you develop mechanisms and transfer that energy into what is I believe leading to serious greatness and also helping a lot of people. The testimonials and the transformations and emails that we get daily. It's all just a beautiful, circular effect that we can reach so many people worldwide. But I mean, it's just transferring that energy into, like you said, setting goals and having a purpose towards, in this case, my why, which is luckily helping others. It's just finding that thing that you can just transfer that energy into. And I'm lucky that I did. It's just being curious. I mean, I have a lot of other things too. I'd love to. There's just, I'm sure you're similar. I mean, there's I'm voraciously just seeking knowledge and just of so many different areas. And who knows, skincare may not be it for me, only it for me. It's just, especially with this clear head and mindset and just curiosity and definitely energy. It's just following your interests and, putting them into practice. And then who knows, repetition, who knows, maybe you'll create something that can solve a problem for a lot of people.
That's it. Frequency creates the genius, my friend. Frequency creates the genius. That's it. Repetition.
I love it.
How important is it to do an audit on your environment and to make some changes if your environment is not serving those new goals? Number one, I'm living that currently right now. I can't, it's completely different. The environment, who you surround yourself with, their habits, are they, similar to yours? Really taking a look at that, your community, the resources that you have around you. It's very important. It's very important. Las Vegas, Los Angeles, obviously that was completely different than Sedona, but that's where it comes into, just really having that discipline. And now having the discipline and then honing that in, learning from my past experiences, and then being where I am right now, I'm extremely excited to just see what this leads to and who it can help. Yeah. Yeah. And you're right. It is everything, because your environment determines your thoughts, and your thoughts determine your actions, and your actions determine your results. So you're right. It starts with your environment. If your environment is telling you to go out and go drink, go party, whatever it is, they're pulling you towards a direction you don't want to be down, it's going to be hard to pursue your goals. So you got to clean up the environment. Like you said, you're going through it right now. Every year I kind of do an audit on my environment, and I put people into two different buckets. Like either they're chargers, I call them, where they're charging me up. They support me. They're actually like pushing me to pursue my goals, or they're drainers and they're just gossiping, talking about the world coming to an end. And they have small thinking. And I spend less time with the drainers and more time with the chargers. So environment is crucial. But let's go back to your journey here, because you started to make all these face masks. You started to explore skincare and health and nutrition. And what point did it click that, man, I want to start my own company? And then that company turned into Alitura. So how did that go about?
So about 2013, I'm kind of like, getting back. I'm back in the industry, modeling and acting, actually a lot more than I was before. And I was I got my zest back, and I wanted to work for Dave Asprey. Like his attention to detail, his precision, obsession with, single heirloom cacao pods. I mean, I just loved it because, I'm the same way. My mom actually went to the Silicon Valley Health Institute to hear him speak. She met him before I did. And she put it in his ear, like, my son's working on this mask. And I was like, I think, Dave was like, oh, tell Andy good luck. And, back then I was just peppering him on Twitter, like, hey, I just really want to thank you. Never a response. I think he may have liked it one time or something. But I troubleshooted his email address, right? So it was info@bulletproofexec back then. It was just like the contact form. And so like d.asprey, dave.asprey, asprey.dave, David, you name 10 different combinations or whatever it was with the same email, with the before picture of me in the ICU and like an after picture of me modeling. Like, dude, you got me back in my career. What I love, man, using your products. I never drank coffee before. It was like hopping right into a Ferrari Testarossa with bulletproof coffee. I mean, which is true. It really motivated me on my recovery. Anyway, one of those emails went through. They brought me on board as an ambassador. So I'm just taking pictures with the products, getting it for free, which is great because I was broke at the time. And anyway, so like a couple months into it, Jackie, his podcast assistant, reached out and said they want to have me on Bulletproof Radio. And so, February 1st, 2014 is where it all went down. So like, but the first, if you watch it, yeah, that's a trip. Number one is just really cool because, I idolized Dave. And then for the first 30 minutes, we're just talking about how, a lot of the bulletproof products. And then he asked what I did for my skin. And because we hadn't talked about that. And I just kind of just split second, luckily, went into what I did for my skin. Because I was kind of, it was the number one podcast on iTunes, I think, or at least one of the top ones with Jillian Michaels at that time. And so luckily I just shared what and why I was doing and using to counteract, all my scarring and abrasions and swelling and scar tissue, and went in and just started flowing on the ingredients and what I put into this product. And he got such a response. And so did I. I think I put out my personal email address, and like when it finally aired, it was just like a new 25 or whatever it was on Yahoo of like people saying beautiful things, but also people wanting to know where they could purchase this mask. Got another podcast. By this time, I mean, I was working a lot with Oakley. Some people who were living in Southern California, Dan Lyman, Frank Haro, just would drive up and help me bottle. I had a deadline to hit for the clay mask. Dave and I at this time had come together on a deal. Here I am partnering with Dave, and June 26, 2014 is when we launched the Alitura clay mask, man. And
wow.
Yeah, just like that. And then just keeping it extremely, oh man, that adrenaline, are you kidding me? Like every order that came in, it was just like, it's a total, talk about a stimulating effect. I mean, I couldn't believe people
dopamine hit,
taking a chance on something, and then it just turned into a beautiful inferno of just keeping it simple. It was one product, right? My buddy was working for Netgear at the time, and he helped me put together a little Shopify store. I went from Golden Glow to Alitura, which is a lot better than a bronzer sounding like product. And we just started paying attention. Oh, a little inquiry. And then, I learned about our Yotpo review system, clicked on that, embedded that app, 28 out of 28 5-star reviews. I'm just learning literally on the go of what to do and how to run a business. And then taking the extra money, which is, oh, lo and behold, the profit, and then going in and making my moisturizer. I'm telling you, man, because Dave was writing his book. He was very busy during that time. Carissa Bodnar was a godsend, is a godsend. She's the founder of Thrive Cosmetics. She was working for Dave. She basically gave the Alitura Clay Mask the thumbs up because she had worked with Clinique and a lot of other big brands in the past. And so bless her heart. Thank you so much, Carissa. And I just, you know how it is. It's just like you're given an opportunity, like especially with Dave and just like somebody who I idolize. I just, there was the amount of energy and adrenaline that I had at that time and still do. It's just like you're given a chance to really be something, you know? And the work ethic and drive was definitely there. And I just loved that people, you know, it's like making a meal. You just, well, for me, and I just wanted people to love it and feel the same, you know, way that I felt about it and saw what I saw. Cause to me, it's magic, you know, it's the best. I wouldn't go without that clay. It's just, it's an internal feeling as well. Just like with the purification and just releasing that congestion around the clay.
Yeah, explain that. So let's talk. I would imagine that's probably like your best product, like most popular product is the clay mask. It was one of your first ones. So what exactly is it doing? How often should you use it? And what is it doing? You mentioned it's clearing some things out. Explain the process.
Yeah, I mean, clay has an amazing, first off, the mineral density of clays is incredible. So you're getting that nourishment. As we age, we're drained of our mineral density, so it's important to replenish that and just keep our collagen nice and supple through mineralization. On top of that, our skin is our largest detox organ, so the bentonite just really clears out a lot of the impurities as well as dirt and oil from your pores. But the cleansing aspect, there's something internally, the therapeutic element of that. Also, when combined, if you want to add in essential oils, lemongrass, clary sage, sea buckthorn, ylang ylang, you can it's just, the pulling action of the clays and the detoxifying properties of it, as well as the cleansing and renewal that you get, is just, and also a strong exfoliating aspect to it as well. It's a full-on spa treatment, just basically out of the comfort of your own home. I mean, we have hundreds of med spas using it as a back bar treatment. Just pretty much, it's like it's a food. I mean, your skin being your largest organ, we're also introducing antioxidant. I mean, the capacity of vitamin A, vitamin K, B12, sodium alginate, and organic kelp powder is amazing. Pearl powder, really rich. I mean, just the particle size, it does something when it's sitting. It's the main ingredient, obviously, in our pearl cleanser as well. There's just, through the curiosity, I found out the elements and the benefits of ingredients that I've never seen used topically, like colostrum, like pearl powder, and ginseng. But I mean, it's just, it's a superfood meal for your skin that just, it just energizes you as well. It does something at like an ATP level. I'm telling you, like my buddy had I don't know, it's like some heart rate monitor machine. I'd have to ask him exactly what it was, but he just kept telling me about the difference that he had when he was wearing the mask and when he didn't. But aside from that, yeah, it's just, it's one of those things, whether it's once a week that you want to do, it's self-care, time for yourself. And it's just something that I do. I mean, because I have a lot, things that I'm preparing for, so I'll do it. I mean, if I'm being, 4 to 5 times a week, but I would recommend working your way up to that, maybe 1 to 3 times a week. But it's a sacred ceremony of self-care. And I mean, I love it. And so, yeah, that's our Alitura clay mask. I'd love to follow that up with our gold serum, which is basically like the best of cutting edge anti-aging skin science, with ingredients of plant-derived vitamin A, CoQ10, astaxanthin, and marine collagen, and then in a base of organic botanicals like sandalwood, frankincense. It's a really, in a bee product base as well, with propolis, beeswax, honey, royal jelly. It's that's a very good. It's like, it's very rare that you see organic, holistic plant-derived formulas with cutting-edge science, but we were able to find that EcoCert approved organic, actually, like a plant-derived vitamin A, a retinol alternative that has similar benefits without the side effects, without the harsh sun sensitivity unpredictable
Yeah.
downtime that can give you. So, I mean, that was something I wanted to see if we could hopefully provide some type of retinol alternative. And man, that is our most popular product right now is our,
Oh, interesting. 'Cause that's the one I use most often is the
yeah,
gold serum. So it's interesting that's the most popular one. But me and my fiance will do the mask a couple times per week. We'll put it on, just sit on the couch for a little bit. But you're right. When I wash it off, I feel really good every time I wash it off my face.
yeah. And so we have our meteorite scrub. I'm going to send you that. It's just that, you know how it is. Just like anything, when you gain experience, you get better. But that is, our chemist makes products for the biggest lines. I think I can say that. Image. Yeah. I mean, it's true. Anyway, I mean, the team of chemists say that's the best skincare product they have ever made. Susan Raffi has been around for
Wow.
decades. And the fun thing is those are my ingredients. I mean, with all due respect, they put it together, but
Yeah. That's cool.
you know how it is. Like it feels, a little victory. I mean, that's going to be a statement product that's going to be talked about long after I'm gone. I mean, we're using
That's super cool.
meteorite powder from a meteor that landed in Morocco, 15K for a half kilo. Like when that's out of stuff, I mean, who knows when another meteor. Anyway, it's
Yeah, seriously.
aspect of it.
You have on your website, there's a couple, I'm looking at it now. There's a couple of things that I've never used. I'm curious how this works and why you have it on here. So you have something called the micro needle, derma roller, and the double-edged razor. How do you use those? I've never used those before.
The derma roller is a secret weapon for sure. So it has 600 titanium micro needles. Like the micro needling is becoming huge. You go in and hearing about the vampire facials with the PRP. Mm-hmm. Now it's not exactly to that level, but you can get similar results. We have a 0.25, 0.5, and 1 millimeter length titanium needles that, when rolled diagonally and up and down on the face, forehead, neck, décolleté, it opens up tiny pathways for the ingredients of the products to sink in further past the epidermis of the skin, effectively getting the most benefits out of the products that you're putting on top afterwards. Now the whole idea is pearl cleanser, cleanse with the pearl cleanser, then roll with the derma roller, clay mask. So basically cleanse, exfoliate, hydrate, repair. So pearl cleanser, want to use
cleanse, exfoliate, hydrate, repair is what you said.
Oh yeah, that's a system right there. And we're going to be putting together a nice little kit. I mean, with probably with the meteorite scrub, just to keep it nice and in one, just a 4-step simple skincare routine. That but the derma roller 1 to 3 times a week, flat out game changer. What it does also is it creates these tiny little micro tears signaling to your body to repair itself effectively, creating a thicker collagen layer over time. As long as you're not overly using the derma roller and allowing full cell turnover and collagen synthesis to occur. Yeah, I mean that's something I've definitely noticed is a game changer. It's just a really good instrument to use in your skincare routine. Now the razor, that was a passion project turned product. I mean, I love a good shave. Can't stand razor burner, ingrown hairs. Sure.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I mean,
same.
And so the thing is, I just found this out. Well, what was I using? Merkur, MERKUR, a Merkur straight single edge safety razor. And I just basically like I just went back to the drawing board and made one bet. I think they use stainless steel. Ours is brass, a little heavier for more control. And I like the logo.
Pretty badass too, bro. I like the way it looks.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean I get a lot of. I mean, our polo too. I mean, these are just passion projects. They have a lot of meaning behind them to me, and they're great. It's just we're mostly known for our skincare products, but that razor is insane. And when I was first making it, seriously, I thought about this is back when like Dollar Shave Club was huge, and I was like, let's find a way to compete with Dollar Shave Club and make it better on the environment, which is, I think, true. One brass razor, right? And you're just replacing the blades. You keep, and it's, you get 100 blades for $10, $9 on Amazon. I don't know. So I thought about like really making this big like shaving campaign, but who knows? Maybe down the road, a good solid shave. I mean, that's the thing though; it just wipes the hair off. You have to obviously get the, just a nice loose wrist. I mean, because it's a very, but they have a safety edge in there too to protect your skin. So yeah, it's just a fun project that turned into a
I love it. Yeah. So for those who are watching on YouTube or listening on the podcast, we're going to put a link down below for all the Alitura products. And there's a lot more that we didn't mention. And Andy hooked you all up with a coupon code for 20% off. It's pretty big deal, pretty big coupon code. So thank you for that. So it's Keto Camp at checkout. Go to the link down below to get that. I'm gonna, as soon as we hop off here, I'm gonna stock up. I need a whole bunch of more products, so I'm gonna talk to you about that. But
nice.
I have a question for you. I have a few more before we land the plane here.
Yeah.
What are maybe the top 3 skincare myths out there that you've seen being in the industry? Top 3. Or the biggest one, or anyone that comes to mind.
Myths.
Yeah, maybe like I could reword that and say maybe what you see other skincare companies promoting that isn't necessarily the case, like the biggest pitfalls or myths or or red flags, if you will.
I mean, number one would be the heavily toxic sunscreen and then going out and having that baked into your skin. Sometimes if they're wearing makeup with carcinogens underneath that, like it's that's something that is just completely counterproductive for the skin and so commonly promoted as using sunscreen.
What do you do for that? What do you use for instead of sunscreen personally?
For me, I'm big on pre and post just healing. You know what I mean? Like I'll put body lotion, a thicker emulsion on my face if I'm going to be out. I'm talking for all day. And then post, I'll do talking like a day in Belize out in the tropical sun, body lotion all over, and then post. But it's extremely healing. That's just what I do. And then throughout, just if I'm getting half hour or an hour, I'll put the gold serum on. Now that's me. Now I understand some people have sun sensitivity and skin issues, and I want to be respectful to that. I don't know if I've like built up that like callousness to the sun on my skin.
Well, you know what it is. You avoid. I know that you avoid vegetable oils and seed oil. So the more you avoid those, the less likely you're gonna burn your skin and see some of the issues with the sun.
Right. I mean, I do eat very clean. I've heard that there's something to that. Your subcutaneous fat layer getting really good healthy fats in. As far as the myths, here's my thing on the myths on the skincare industry. The truth is it's extremely dishonest. Thousands of ingredients in Europe are not allowed, or in the United States are not allowed overseas. Why is that? I highly recommend that people start to really get to know their ingredients. Look up what phenoxyethanol is. Look up the potential damaging components of potassium sorbate. Think Dirty is a good app where you can scan the UPC barcode and get a reading of the cleanliness of your products, 1 to 10 rating on the cleanliness of your products. But I mean, really getting in tune and start, for yourself, just doing your own research and finding out what you're rubbing into your largest organ every day. You know what I mean? Combined with environmental pollutants and say if you're not showering with a shower filter, I mean, these things that you're doing daily, I mean, the things to really, there's a study that, women leave on average, leave the house with over 100 government recognized carcinogens daily between, lipstick, makeup, hairspray. I mean, so just these things over time are damaging your endocrine system, your hormones, and accelerate your aging process. So
well, so important. The same we always preach on the show, reading the ingredients in the food we eat. And to your point, it's the same thing with what you're putting on your skin, because what goes on your skin is going to go inside of your bloodstream, inside of your body. So Think Dirty is the app that you mentioned. I've heard good things about that app, but you're so right. Like, look up the ingredients just like you would if you're buying food, because essentially it's still going to go inside of your body. And it's worth it, because all of these are stressors that fill up your stress bucket. The ladies that are putting on all these toxic chemicals, makeup, etc., showering without a shower filter. As the stress bucket gets full and full and full, then symptoms manifest. We have issues with health, but we want to stop that right now. So I love that you mentioned that, Andy. I have one final question for you, bro. You ready?
Hey, I got one. I got the
Yeah.
one thing.
Yeah.
The biggest myth is the most important one. Everybody loves, oh, it smells so good. Fragrance is the number one
That's true. That's true.
number one culprit as a carcinogen. You know, I had to get some value, dude. And that's the thing, though. It's the most sensory evoking, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it smells so good. It's like you can get, and it takes longer and it's more expensive. You can get the most beautiful aroma from organic, essential, cold pressed oils, from the earth, rather than something made in a lab. So, I mean, natural fragrance is a government recognized okay carcinogen. Like, you can say natural fragrance and then have it complete. It's okay. To put a lab made fragrance and label it as natural fragrance. I mean, look into the labels, but there it is. I would say just be very, aware of your ingredients, and fragrance being the biggest culprit. All right.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you added that. You're so right. When I was younger, in my early 20s, I used to just spray cologne, go to the gym, spray cologne, go to the mall, spray cologne, and then I became aware of the the dangers of these chemicals. So I know I don't wear cologne. I use essential oils, to your point. But from time to time, I live in a building here in Miami, so from time to time, I'll walk into the elevator and somebody will be in their elevator just loaded with perfume and cologne. I'm just like holding my breath, like, oh my gosh, or getting into like an Uber or a Lyft car ride, and they have the air fresheners. I'm like, oh my gosh, open the windows, please. They think it's totally fine because it smells good, but that is so toxic for us. So I'm glad you brought
Gives
that
me a
up.
headache.
Yeah,
Gives me a headache.
yeah. Sometimes I have to choose another Uber driver because it's that bad. Last question for you. You mentioned it earlier. You talked about gratitude several times. I call it vitamin G. My shirt, I don't know. My shirt actually says vitamin G. You see that? Do you see it?
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm all about I'll get you a shirt. I'm all about getting a daily dose of vitamin G. So my question to you, Andy, is what are you grateful for right now? What's your vitamin G today?
Oh man. I just well, I'm a pretty grateful human being. I get down on my knees and I probably had a 5-minute prayer of gratitude. We're doing a 2-day sale right now, and I just really brought it in and consciously reminded myself to be grateful for the team that I have that's working their ass off right now, and to be grateful for the position that I'm in. All those sale days can be stressful, and that sure there's always problems, but like having that mantra of gratitude this morning at 5:30 in the morning or whatever it was, on my knees right over there in my living room. Oops. That sets the tone for my day. I'm grateful to wake up. I'm grateful to chew, to smile, to be able to breathe, to have a family that's still alive that cares about me. Like there are unlimited blessings to count, and I count them all day long. I'm a very, grateful human being, but I am.
Yeah, that's beautiful, bro. Yeah, what you appreciate appreciates. I'm grateful that the last 12 months have been a learning growth opportunity for you, and I'm grateful that you're filtering now your we'll call it addictive personality. People like to say, I don't like that word, but let's say you're filtering this obsession and this energy into something great, your company, educating people. So I'm grateful that you're doing that. And I'm grateful that we finally made this podcast happen. We've been trying to do it for a while. So other than your website, which we'll put a link down below, where else do you want the keto campers to follow you?
I'm on Instagram at Andy Hnilo. My last name's Hnilo, Andy Hnilo. And then Alitura Naturals at ALITURA NATURALS. And yeah, I'm here if you have any questions. I eat, breathe, and sleep everything that I do. And yeah, I'm really glad that we finally made this happen. Hey, are you going to the upgrade
Yes, I'll be there in Orlando. Yep, you'll be there.
Uh, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. So be good to
Yeah,
meet you in person.
yeah, I would love that. I think we met in person really. Now that I'm remembering, at the last Orlando Dave Asprey conference, we met for like 10 seconds, and I remember you spilling my coffee. Do you remember that?
Oh, what? Oh
You
man.
you I had no, it was an accident. I had coffee in my hand and you hugged me, and it was such a like strong hug that it spilled on me.
Oh
But
no.
that was like a very short interaction because I think you were headed somewhere. But yeah, we'll hang out again in Orlando. I would love to see you in person, bro.
Yeah, I would love that, man. And thanks again for having me on and digging deep with me, man. I appreciate it.
Of course, brother. I'll have you back, and thank you for what you do. Talk to you soon, bro.